feel like people kind of overlook the fact that you also produce.
Yeah.
Like, what rappers would you like to produce for?
Or rapper? Nas. I feel like I give Nas a classic. Not saying that he ain't got enough under his belt, but I just feel like I really it'll probably be some of the best beats of my life, and probably some of the best ideas of my life. Nas, Jay, of course. Kanye, even though he do his own beats. Rich Boy, cause I like Rich Boy rap voice. I think he got an ill style. Andre 3000, of course. I feel like that's another one. Like I just feel like I just go crazy.
Why is that though? Like why?
Because I got such a high level of respect. Like the reason why I say that for Nas and like and Jay and Andre, because I have such a high level of respect for them that they're gonna get the best that I possibly have. Like they're gonna get every ounce of my talent or whatever the case is. I go in, I go crazy. Omen, who is that's my man, but he produces his own stuff too. But if he ever let me, I'll probably go in for him on the album. Common, man, that's a bunch of people I love to produce for, man. But like we'll get to that once they hear the album. Then people will be like, oh, maybe we should go see him.
What about like beats you wish you made or beats that inspired you to produce?
Beats I wish I made. Too many, man. I wish I made Explosive. Dr. Dre Explosive. I wish I made it's this Pete Rock song called The Game with a crazy ass sample, crazy ass drums. I wish I made it. I wish I made the Ice Cream beat off Cuban Links.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I wish I made that beat. I wish I made Common, the intro to the B album. I wish I made that beat. Yo, it's too many beats I wish I made. I wish I made Two Words. Kanye. I wish I made 1,000,001 Questions. Or A Million, whatever the name of the song is, Jay song.
Yeah, it's 1,000,001 Questions.
1,000,001 Questions.
But like, what is it about these beats? Is it like the technical, like sampling?
Some of them is. Some of them are like a Dilla beat. Any one of Dilla beats, really. But like when you listen to a Dilla beat, you be listening to like how he freaked the sample, and you like, man, I wish I did that. Or you listen to how smooth his drums are, perfect his drums are. You like, I wish I did that. Explosive, just the feel and the vibe of it, and how sonically perfect it is and mixed well. You wish you did that and pick those sounds. Something like, what else did I say? I said Ice Cream. Oh my God, just how raw that shit is, how hard them drums hit. And I actually just found a sample for that the other day, and just the way, like, if you listen to that sample and then listen to what he did with the sample, it doesn't even make sense. Like, how could you hear that? That's why I wish I made those beats. Like, it's something there that I'm like, damn. It's like, as on the rap side, it's like when you hear a line that a rapper did, sometimes it's like, damn, how did he think of that? And then other times it's like, damn, why didn't I think of that? Like, it was so easy. Some beats is like, man, I should have did that. And some beats is like, damn, how did he do that?
Yeah. So are you like a crate digger in the traditional sense, or even in like the rapid shit sense?
Right.
Like,
I'm like the new, I came up at an awkward time. Not awkward, but interesting. Like when I started making beats, the internet wasn't, it was there, but it was, the internet was slower. You couldn't download as fast as you could now. And like the amount of material wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
So I came up under my mentors who were still digging out of records. So I was doing the same thing. I was going to the pawn shop or to the thrift shop, buying records out the dollar bin, going home, hooking them up to my turntable, sampling straight off the record, or CDs or whatever the case was. And then as time went on, it's like, man, I'm going to college. I ain't trying to be. I remember trying to bring records. I got records in my dorm room now. I got turntable up here. It was just too much. And the internet was getting faster, and they had programs like SoulSeek or whatever you could find. I could just type in Curtis Mayfield and get a whole bunch of songs from him. So that's when I kind of transitioned. Okay, now I'm just getting it offline.
Yeah.
So nowadays I'm a digger, and I don't really dig anymore.
Yeah.
But we hit an interesting phase where the internet is all about like sharing. and like all these people that love this old music that we sample, they just love to get together and just share with each other. So you know, I'm on these guys' sites and I'm looking and I'm learning, you know, whatever the case is. So now I'm like the new school digger.
Yeah.
You know, the purists probably hate that shit. You know, the purists
Yeah.
like they like, you know, they hate it like they hate Serato. You know what I'm saying? But this is the way the world is going.
Yeah. So how deep was your vinyl collection, or is it now?
I mean, I guess it was deeper than the average person who doesn't even have vinyl. I had stacks or whatever, but it wasn't like, it wasn't nothing like they used to have back in the days. You know, the purists have like a whole, and my mentor, Nervous Wreck, he had a whole wall, you know what I'm saying? Probably, you know, really tall wall, nothing but crates and crates and crates of records. Or even my pop's record collection is stupid. But, you know, I had, you know, maybe a couple hundred records or whatever the case was. Over time, well, no. I don't know how many I had, man. I got way more MP3s than I got records.
So is that where you picked it up from, your pops then?
Nah, because I didn't grow up with my pop. But maybe, you know, genetically, without knowing it, I got that from him. Because he loved, you know, the music lover. He been collecting records for so long. And that his favorite era, like he's a straight OJ's type dude. Like that's his favorite group. So in turn, like that's one of my favorite old groups too. So it's, you know, one of them things. What we was asking about? You was asking about working with No ID.
Yeah.
It was like a interesting process because I don't, you know, I ain't know what it was gonna be like. I ain't know if he was just gonna be playing beats and like yes or no those beats, but it worked out. It happened to be really organic. Like at first I just wanted to play my position, like I'm in artist mode. I don't want to overstep any boundaries. But he was really cool about taking my suggestions. You know what I'm saying? Like we got this one song, Not Too Late, and when it started, we got the session players who were incredible replaying the sample, and the sample was in like 3/4 time signature, which means it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back. Instead of going that extra time, like it was like a weird time signature that's hard to rap on. So, and that's not even 3/4 time signature, whatever it is. But I was like, man, like this shit is crazy. But I didn't want to like overstep my boundaries, but I was like, yo, I think it'd be crazy if we just made it like regular structure. Cause he's all about like, man, we should think outside the box, which is cool. But on this one, I was like, yo, we need to make it like regular structure, cause I got the raps in my head, which he did, and it ended up being like, you know, crazy ass song, incredible song. But just things like that, he could have took it the wrong way. He could have been like, nah, like, and stuck to his, you know, to whatever he was thinking at the time. So I just had to get past that point. And once we got past the trust issue, you know, he was open to my suggestions, or, you know, on drums or whatever the case was. But and then, you know, really for the most part, I just want to sit back and learn from him as a producer, and just see, you know, the things that he did and some of the techniques he used. So, you know.
So did you guys replay a lot of the samples to avoid clearing them?
Not even really to avoid clearing them. It was just, I mean, you might have a sample and you're just playing over the sample, not even necessarily replaying it. It's just to give the song more life and bring it into, like, you know, 2010, as opposed to just sticking to what rap has always been like, you know, just straight sampling drums. Which is nothing wrong with that. I got songs like that too, but that sometimes those extra layers just add so much and make it sound like an album.
You're a rapper who doesn't come from like that whole gangster lifestyle, like you ain't sell drugs.
Who said that? Who said that, man? No, I'm fine.
You ain't shooting.
Nah, no way.
So, you know, that kind of thing used to be necessary, and a lot of rappers, you know, they still fabricate that kind of thing because they feel it's necessary. So, like, it's shifting. So, tell me how, you know, it feels to operate in a time where you don't have to pretend to be something you're not, where you don't like have to.
It feels good, man. It feels. I used to worry about that too when I was young. When I was like 14, 15, it was like, man, how am I gonna do this? Like, I'm not, you know, my favorite rappers is talking about all this, and I wouldn't talk about that because, like, you know, I don't know what that, you know, I know it because I know these people, and these people are my friends or, you know, people I go to school with or whatever the case is, but that's not me. I'm not going to take this personality just because I want to make it. That wouldn't even be fun. But, you know, growing up and maturing, you don't even worry about that. You're like, oh man, this is actually an advantage to, you know, to be myself in a world where, you know, at the time everybody was trying to rap this kind of way. And now in 2010, it's like, I feel free. I feel like when I come in an interview with you, I don't have to, if you look back at some of these dudes' old school interviews, they had it like, you gotta always be, it's like a wrestler, you gotta always be in character. Like, I gotta be whatever my name is. Like, now I gotta be Stone Cold Steve Austin in this interview. I feel like when I come and talk to you, I can just be Jermaine if I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be cool. I don't have to be extra hard. Like, yeah, man, shit been hard, or whatever the case is. Like, I can just be me. So I feel free. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can just rap about what I'm rapping about, and I don't have to worry about fact checks. And you know, if my tax records come up and they see that I worked at the skating rink, you know, I'm not gonna get laughed at because I put this in my music. So, you know, I feel a freedom that I don't think a lot of rappers used to feel. Maybe, you know, rapping about killing and selling drugs and knowing they never really did it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I know you're on the Blueprint 3, but what's your favorite Jay-Z album?
My favorite Jay album is, I guess, man, I don't want to be like the obvious answer, but I think Blueprint, man. I mean, everybody got a different favorite Jay-Z album. Blueprint, man, is my favorite. Because, I mean, of course, Reasonable Doubt is what it is. It's fucking legendary, next level. But I had to catch up on Reasonable Doubt. When that dropped, I was like, what, 11?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had to come back years later, or a few years later, and be like, oh, okay, I see what you're talking about. But Blueprint was right there in my, like, I remember when it dropped. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember that week riding around listening to it. I remember that month and that year and being in the teen club and they playing, like, every song off of that. So, yeah, I say Blueprint just because, like, that was like prime time in my life, like one of the illest Jay albums.
So what about your favorite era of Jay? Because I feel like Jay has this specific periods.
Periods?
As well.
Yeah, my favorite Jay period. Yeah, it's from Blueprint to Black Album was my favorite, just as a fan. Not saying, you know, every Jay period had his good, you know, his good things for different reasons, but that was my favorite because, like I told you, when Blueprint dropped, I was in high school, and then when Black Album dropped, I was just getting to college. I was a freshman in college, and I'll never forget, like, when the album dropped, and I was in New York, so I could feel all the energy surrounding the garden, and me trying to get my ticket, and I didn't really know how it worked, so I didn't know it was gonna be sold out in fucking 10 seconds, or whatever the case was. It was just fun. And he was killing. He was still doing freestyles at the time. He might drop a mixtape here and there, or freestyle over, you know, this beat or that beat. Yeah, so that was a fun time as a fan to watch.
Word.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Word. Appreciate it, man. That was dope.
I appreciate
You got the
it.
production shit down, man. Nobody ever asked me about the fucking production, at least extensively.
Bitch, I'm about to blow up.